All right, let's get going. Sorry, we're starting a couple minutes late. You might see my son and my mother running around for a minute because my son decided not to take a nap. So if you hear a screeching toddler in the background, I hope you're understanding because you have one too. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us talking about healthy weight loss for the postpartum mom. Apparently my assistant's going to help me with the introduction. We wanted to hold this hangout because a lot of moms ask us for suggestions about helping them lose weight after baby. And we think that there's a lot of pressure to maybe look like Heidi Klum, 2 weeks after you leave the hospital. But since most of us don't look like Heidi Klum before we get to the hospital, we think that's potentially an unreasonable expectation. So we wanted to talk today about how that's going to work. And in the next half hour, we're going to go through a lot of information, but we want to talk about mostly what's a reasonable expectation for losing weight after you have your baby, how to nourish your body to care for yourself and your baby, especially if you're nursing, which we might do right now, and the postpartum pitfalls you want to avoid. So I will quickly introduce myself. Hey, can you hang on 1 second, please? I'm Stacy Spensley. I'm a certified holistic health coach and founder of Center Stage Wellness and SemiCrunchyMama.com. I support overwhelmed perfectionists to make sustainable diet and lifestyle changes so that they can really make changes in their lives, and expecting and new mamas to make educated and empowered decisions for themselves and their families. And I'm really excited to have a special guest today to help me out who specializes in maternal nutrition, and she'll tell me a little more. So Kelly, tell us about yourself. Kelly, can you hear me? Kelly. Uh-oh. Kelly seems to be frozen for some reason. Uh-oh.
Hi.
There you are. Kelly, introduce yourself.
Sorry, I could hear you. I'm Kelly Bach, owner of Full Belly Nutrition here in San Diego. I'm a nutrition coach specializing in perinatal nutrition. I'm also a doula and a lead volunteer working with the vendors of the Natural Family Fair here in San Diego.
Excellent. And Kelly, we're really excited to have your expertise here. I apologize. My son, of course, being a nursing toddler, is kicking my desk, and every time he kicks my desk, my microphone picks it up. So, anyway, other than chasing toddlers around, thank you, buddy, for your commentary. I want to know what you think, Kelly, because I have my own ideas, but how fast should new moms lose their baby weight? Because I hear a lot of moms who are, comparing like when they could wear their pre-pregnancy jeans and trying to figure out kind of what's normal. And so what do you think about that?
So, a lot of factors go into that. It really depends on how much you've gained, if you're nursing and how much you're nursing, your body chemistry, your activity levels, all sorts of things. It's not just, you should be losing this weight in this amount of time because you were pregnant. It doesn't work like that. Some moms lose quickly, some moms lose slowly, and some moms hold on to, 5 or 10 pounds or maybe a little bit more while they are nursing. So, it really just depends on the mom. Stacy?
I totally agree. I think there's really no specific timeline. And I think sometimes it's hard when you set up that comparison trap, because if you gained 25 pounds during your pregnancy and somebody else gained 50 pounds during their pregnancy, you can't lose, you're not necessarily going to lose 50 pounds as fast as you're going to lose 20 pounds. But if you're one of those ones that hangs on to that 5 or 10 pounds while you're breastfeeding, that 20 pounds might not come off very fast either. So I think it's kind of a no-win situation. But I did want to add that I have seen some moms who they are doing everything right. They're eating really well, they're taking really good care of themselves, they're breastfeeding, and it's just not coming off. It could also be a thyroid issue. So I do want to say that while we're going to talk a lot about kind of the basics that apply to a lot of people, there are other instances where you may want to have your thyroid levels checked. So. Well, I'm glad that Ivor agrees. So that said, so I don't think there's a specific time it should happen in, but what can moms do to help them lose that pregnancy weight? What do you think?
So one really easy thing that maybe we don't even think about is water. Water, water, water. It's not just for your health, but it can help you lose weight because you're kind of filling yourself up with something that's really good for you and your body needs. And it's really super important for your milk supply. Yeah, and you need to drink
How much water a day should a nursing mom be drinking?
a lot, 3 liters or 100 ounces a day.
That is a lot.
Yeah, it is. But when you think about the fact that your milk is mostly water, it makes sense. It really does make sense.
I compared my first 2 weeks postpartum to what I think it would be like to be stranded in the Sahara Desert with no water. I was so thirsty.
Yep.
So I've heard a lot of moms complain that they don't like plain water. So what can they do if plain water is boring?
Sure. Infuse it with some fruits or some herbs. Coconut water is definitely great. It's a great boost of electrolytes. You want to make sure that you're looking at the ingredients and the labels of your coconut water, though, because you want to make sure that you're buying it unsweetened, for sure. You don't want those extra calories just because they added some sugar to your coconut water.
That makes sense. And is that better than Gatorade?
Yes. Gatorade is full of bad, nasty chemicals. You don't want to be drinking Gatorade.
Uh-oh. Sorry, my child is trying to yank things off my desk. Excellent. Okay, so water, coconut water is good. Okay, so what else? Let's see if we can get him out of here. Thanks, Mom. What else can you do other than just drinking water? How do you really approach this?
Yeah, you want to make sure you're nourishing your body throughout the day.
Okay, so what do you mean by nourish?
Yeah, whole foods, unprocessed foods, as close to nature as possible. Shopping around the outside of a supermarket, where the fruits and the vegetables and, the meats if you eat them, that kind of thing. The things that are, what nature gave us.
Gotcha. So something that I like to say about kind of unprocessed foods are that, like, you need to be a good label reader, but it's best if they don't even have a label.
Right. Perfect. Right there.
Thanks.
Something else you want to remember is smaller snacks and meals throughout the day. You don't want to kind of starve yourself. You want to make sure that you're eating kind of every couple hours, just a little something.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So I know I've seen a lot of questions like we're in a mom group together on Facebook and stuff like that about people saying like, normally they'd go on a diet or something like that. And so do you think that you should approach it like a diet, or is it a different kind of mindset?
No, I think when people think of diets, they think of cutting calories. And really, when you're nursing, you don't want to cut calories. You're burning 300 to 500 calories a day by producing breast milk. And when you think about that, you really should be eating just a little bit more than when you were pregnant, but you want to make sure that little bit more is whole foods, those fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Not those sugary processed snacks that are so easy to reach for.
Right. Now, what about doing a detox? I've had a lot of people that are like, well, I want to do, this cleanse. What do you think while, breastfeeding?
Yeah, detoxing is definitely not recommended while breastfeeding. Detoxing will just dump all of that junk that's in your body into your milk. Mm-hmm. There's ways to find detoxing elements to add to your diet. But, doing those lemon water and cayenne pepper fasts and detoxes are definitely not recommended.
Absolutely. I definitely find with my clients that, trying to find small ways to detox is a lot easier and more gentle on the system for a lot of people than doing something really sudden and abrupt like a detox would be.
Sure. I mean, if you think about it, just by cutting out those processed foods, your body is going to start detoxing all those chemicals as you add in more whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and lean meats if you eat meat.
Absolutely. That's excellent things to know. So we talked a little bit about food, and so do you want me to talk about exercise?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Stace.
Awesome. Okay, so we had talked about this before, but both of us agreed that it's really important to exercise, although it's a lot easier to eat 500 calories than burn off 500 calories, for example. So when we talk about exercise, it's not necessarily training for a marathon or doing a boot camp. That it's just getting daily exercise and physical activity, even if it's just taking a walk with your baby. Especially if you're pretty newly postpartum, it's called labor for a reason, that your body's already been through a lot. It's been through a lot of changes, and you really want to take it slow, especially if you weren't exercising a lot during your pregnancy. It can also, even if it's just taking a walk, it can really help your baby and their circadian rhythms, if you still have a newborn who's kind of reverse cycling and is up at night a lot, to get baby out in the sunshine in the morning to help them think, oh, hey, sunlight. This is morning. I should be awake now. Oh, it's dark later. Maybe then I should sleep. So, I mean, there's still going to be broken sleep because that's a normal sleep habit, but it can really help with that. And also it'll help you to kind of help get your body back in tune. Something that I wish I had done is checked out more of the Mommy and Me classes for pre-crawlers. At the time I really wrapped my head around that, my son was crawling, and then it seems like there's a big jump between up to 6 months and then not until he's 2 again to be able to do Mommy and Me classes. So I really wish we had done any of those. So did you do any of those, Kelly?
I did. I did some Mommy and Me yoga classes, and now we do some toddler ones at the parks. And, something else that I forgot about earlier is that stroller strides is kind of everywhere all over the country, wherever you are. Definitely, I don't recommend it for those newly postpartum moms. You want to wait until your doctor gives you the okay to start exercising, but it's a great way to get outside with your baby, to meet other moms with new babies, and to get your exercise on for an hour a couple times a week.
Absolutely. I went to the zoo with some friends last night, and we found you can rent a stroller at the zoo. And we didn't have one, but we found one abandoned, and so my son was playing with it. So we put him in it, and I pushed him up a hill, and they're pretty steep hills at the zoo. And he was sweating, and my legs hurt today. Pushing a stroller is serious work.
Yeah, I mean, you can make exercise fun. You don't have to think of it as exercise. You can work it into your daily life as fun.
I love that. Excellent. All right, so exercise is good. So I think we've talked about kind of what to do, and so kind of nourishing your body throughout the day, drinking a lot of water, no detox, some physical activity. But what are some of the postpartum pitfalls that moms can fall into?
Sure. I think a huge thing is that moms want to lose the weight, so they cut their calories. And when you're not eating enough calories, your body is going to hold on to those that calorie and fat stores that it has because it doesn't know when it's going to be getting fed again. Kind of goes into a famine mode and, holds on tight. You really want to make sure you're eating a few times, some meals and some snacks. You want to make sure you're eating all day, really,
Sure.
And a small snack in the middle of the night when you're up with that newborn nursing is totally okay because think about it, you're burning calories as you're feeding that baby,
I keep a water bottle and a bag of trail mix in my nightstand.
Perfect. Totally.
5 p.m. That's where I was.
Yeah.
And I know something that I would do, I would just plain old forget to eat because I'd be so worried about taking care of the baby that I wouldn't eat. And the problem that I know, and I would still fall into this trap, is that I wasn't eating frequently enough to maintain my blood sugar. And so what happened was that I'd get so hungry that then my body would be stressed out and be worried, and so it would crave sugar and carbs. And so I'd eat something like you mentioned, I'd grab a box of snacks, like crackers or, lactation cookies, which are delicious but sugary, and I'd eat those really fast because I, was so hungry, but then my blood sugar would tank and I would just feel awful and hungry and tired later when I was already sleep deprived. So I think that, and I was really shocked by the sugar cravings I had for that quick energy in those kind of stressful early newborn days.
Yeah. It's definitely tough. You definitely want to make sure you're eating to keep your blood sugar, kind of even throughout the day and the night because, who wants to feel tired when you're already feeling tired because you're up all night?
Right. Now, you talked a lot about snacks, but so I want you to talk about the difference between snacking mindfully and snacking mindlessly.
Sure. I mean, a great way is to meal plan and kind of plan out your snacks for the day. You don't want to be just grabbing a handful of this and a handful of that here and there. You want to sit down with your apple and your nuts or your cheese and vegetables or your, whatever it is, your protein and your carbs, all, you want to eat with a purpose. You don't want to just grab because it's there. I mean, it's meal planning. It's meal planning. It really is.
And we had talked about, too, is like when you have older kids, it's like they eat half the cheese stick, so you eat half the cheese stick so that they don't throw it on the floor. But then, you don't realize how much that adds up, and you're not eating necessarily snacks that you want to eat.
Right. Yeah, you think, oh, a bite. It's just a bite. But if you have, 4, 5, 6 bites a day of this or that or whatever you're feeding your child, those are just extra calories that you're really not planning for because they weren't part of your plan.
Right. So speaking of meal planning, um, I think that meal planning is amazing because you don't take your time and energy thinking about what you want. I mean, whenever I forget to meal plan, I was like, oh, crud, what am I going to make tonight? And then I have to think about it, and then I'm like, oh, please get off the dining room table, and then I have to go find ingredients and all this stuff that I'm always invariably missing something, and it's a huge pain. So let's talk about how to meal plan. And then for people who are watching, don't worry, we have a really awesome meal planning handout with our tips, a meal planning sheet, and some recipes for you. So you don't have to remember any of this, just keep it in mind. So that said, Kelly, why don't you give us some of your tips for planning meals around having a new baby?
Sure. I think that if you take just 30 minutes a couple times a day, a couple times a week, to cut up some vegetables and store them in the fridge, or to prep some freezer meals that are just really easy to throw in the crock pot when you're ready, you're taking out a ton of time throughout the week of thinking and actually having to do any work. You can big batches of grains and beans a couple times a week. Kind of makes your own salad bar in the fridge. I think, you can use those pre-cut vegetables and fruits in the grocery store and frozen stir fries. Who cares? It's frozen, but it's vegetables. You're getting vegetables into your body, and that's what your body needs. Stacy, I know you said something about a fruit basket. You had mentioned a fruit basket from a friend.
My friend, when she had her oldest daughter, she said the best gift, I just remember this because she said, everybody was so generous and she loved getting lasagnas and, enchiladas and casseroles and all this stuff, but her parents sent her a fruit basket, and it was like the best thing ever because a lot of people send dinners, but they didn't necessarily have breakfast, and they didn't necessarily have lunch, and they didn't necessarily have healthy snacks, and so she would fall back on kind of, crackers in a box because you can leave them out and you don't have to remember to put them away and you don't have to heat them up or anything. But she said having that fruit that was, because you don't have two hands to cut up an apple or peel a banana,
Yeah.
So I would add, I like what you said about buying the frozen vegetables pre-cut, because that's something like, I would always think like, oh, I'll buy an onion and a pepper, and just having that already, and the thing is you can also do it yourself is before you have your baby, you can chop up peppers and onions and freeze them yourself if you want to save the money. But, for a couple of weeks, if you're going to make a stir fry with frozen vegetables, the world's not going to come crashing down. And the same thing is like, if you're not going to eat the whole watermelon, buy the little tub like this for $4 or whatever, and just feel good that you're getting something nutritious for yourself.
Yeah.
Something else that I haven't taken advantage of, but I've heard other moms really love, especially because I only have one kid, but like once you have more than one, if you have a newborn and a toddler or possibly more to wrangle, is if you live in an urban area, getting your groceries delivered. They said is a lifesaver, which I wouldn't have thought of.
Me neither, but I would love to do it next time around.
Right? Super smart. Especially we don't have family in the area, and I know you say your family lives far away as well.
Yep.
So when you can't, when your sister calls you to check in, but she can't send you food,
She can.
Exactly.
One more thing we didn't talk about was meal trains, those online meal trains that your friends can set up for you. We've seen them in the baby group that we're a part of. I've set one up for my friend. Super easy. You talk with whoever's going to set it up for you, throw some dates out there, and then send it out to all your friends. Everyone's more than willing to bake a meal or, send something along for you.
Especially because we just get to ogle the new baby.
Exactly. Everyone wants to hold the new baby.
I'm taking my friend a meal on Sunday to visit her new baby. I'm so excited. Yeah. So that's great. And I know Meal Baby is one. I like TakeThemAmeal.com is another one. But I think they're great, and then people can put down like their dietary preferences or restrictions or food allergies or anything, so you don't accidentally bring them a big tub of enchiladas and they hate Mexican food or whatever.
Yeah, it's great. You can leave all sorts of instructions, come between 4 and 5, and there's a cooler out front because today we're not feeling like having some visitors, and it really is. It's a great tool, with this day and age and technology, we need to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. So I think, did we miss anything? I think we wanted to make it kind of basic enough that it's not overwhelming since we're all sleep deprived and tired and have a lot going on, and didn't want to add anything complicated, but I think there's anything else that's we wanted to add?
I mean, I just want to say, be easy on yourself. You grew a human, you're nourishing a human. Be easy on yourself. You know, you may lose all your body weight but not be able to fit into those jeans. It's because your body's different now. It doesn't mean that, you know, you still look just as good. You know, people see you with a baby and they're like, wow, you know, she did that. So be easy on yourself.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, it's easy to put a lot of pressure on ourselves because I think so many tabloids are, you know, following all the stars of, you know, so-and-so let herself go. It's like, you didn't let yourself go. You grew in it, like you said, you grew an entire human in your body, and you're nourishing them from your body as well. And it takes a lot of energy, and you need to take care of yourself to be able to take care of your kids.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I would add that also with older kids, it's interesting because I know that my son, like, you know, we want to feed him really healthy food, and my husband, you know, likes to eat a little bit junkier food than I might. I still eat some. I'm not lying. But we definitely ate nachos for dinner last week, but that we made. But also, you know, it's really important to be modeling good food choices for your kids too, because as Ellen Satter says in her books, your kids don't want to eat what you put in front of them; they want to eat what you eat. Yeah, so I think that's, you know, more important than losing the weight or fitting into your pants is like making sure that you're healthy so you can take care of your family the way that you want to.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
Well, I want to thank everybody who took their time to spend a little bit of time with us this afternoon talking about postpartum health and nutrition. And we hope that you've learned something at least and can implement one of these tips or tricks into your life. After the video, I will put in the website with the recording link so you can share it with your friends. And also, like I said, the handouts that we created with healthy snacks, with some recipes and ideas, and then also meal planning tips and tricks and some recipes for that as well that we find easy to eat, especially with a newborn. So, Kelly, and also you wanted to offer up something special for people who tuned in today.
I do. I just want to let everyone know that while I'm finishing up my certification, if you contact me, you know, and want to use some of my services, I will be offering 20% off all my services now. If you mention that you found me through this Google Plus video.
Such a deal.
Yeah.
I think that's one big lesson that I've learned is really with a baby is having to ask for help is really hard. And I think people try to think that, you know, we should be able to do it all ourselves and we should have a clean house and be eating like Gwyneth Paltrow and look like Gwyneth Paltrow and, you know, have everything together. And I think sometimes we just need to be more willing to say, hey, you know what, I want this to happen and I don't have the resources to make it happen myself and I need some help to have that happen for me. Yeah. So, yay. All right, let me see. I just want to check. Sorry, I have to look at my computer here, but if you guys post questions in the event, we should be able to see them. MJ says, I love that you're nursing during this. Although we didn't really have another option, so, but I'll take the compliment. But I don't see anybody else posting. But if you guys have any questions and can sneak them in, or if you're in our circles on Google Plus, you can message us if you have any questions. But hopefully we covered a lot of what we wanted to talk about, Kelly.
Yeah, one last thing, Stacy. Where can we find you?
Oh, yes. Well, you can find my coaching services at centerstagewellness.com, and then my maternity and postpartum information is at semicrunchymama.com. It's not all food-focused, but it's gentle parenting resources and kind of it's kind of a mishmash. It's the site that I wish I'd had when I was pregnant. So it's a lot of fun, and you can sign up for my semicrunchymama.com newsletter at semicrunchymama.com. And Kelly, you mentioned your services, and where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm at fullbellynutrition.com, and I'm also starting to try to have more of a Facebook presence. And if you just look for Full Belly Nutrition, you should be able to find me.
Excellent. I know I spend way too much time on Facebook, especially when I'm nursing my kid. It's just easy to do one-handed. And I can have my burrito in one hand and my cell phone in the other, right?
Exactly.
So, excellent. Well, I'm just going to check one more time for questions. I know I have some good question askers out there from last time, but nothing yet. All right, well, let's sign off, and we'll post all those resources with the recording. And Kelly, I'm so glad you joined me. It was super fun. I know we're both really passionate about this topic, so I'm glad that you were able to add your expertise.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Kelly.
Bye.
Bye.